Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a World of Warcraft video where I am going to talk to you guys about some good valuable tips that I do have for you guys who want to actually get into Arena, and some really good tips that will probably help you on your way to achieving what goal you want to get to. Now, to start off, I want to say that no one will ever become rank 1 player or a gladiator within one season unless they are extremely dedicated and play like literally all the time, and they also play with very dedicated people and is naturally very good at the game or games overall. Usually it takes quite some time for a person to actually get to the gladiator state. Now, the reason to why it actually takes quite some time for most people to get there is because you can't just have a good character knowledge from like PvE or something like that and then go into arena and instantly get gladiator. Now, there's some things that I want to talk about that I feel are the most important things. Obviously there's more things to it than what I'm gonna say right now, but I want to pick up the very specific things that I think are very important. Now, to start off, I want to say that the most important thing ever, which keeps many people on low ratings and they never really get out of that, is Panik. Now, Panik is something that most of the top players have figured out a way to avoid, or they've become so comfortable playing on high ratings that they just don't panic and don't really care if they lose. Now, not caring about losing is quite devastating if you're pushing for ratings, like, for example, you want to get your first 2k. Now, if you're like 1998 ratings or something like that, the game you're going to play is probably going to be quite scary for you, because you know that if you lose, you're not gonna get closer to 2k, you're just gonna get further away, and if you do win, you finally reach your goal. Now, however, the most important thing ever, in my opinion, especially as playing a healer most of the time, is actually to keep your calm and never really think about your ratings. Some people say that it's very important to not look at your ratings. Honestly, as long as you can keep calm and not really care about that when you're inside of the arena, that's the most important thing. Looking at your ratings every single time you finish a game to look how many points you get doesn't hurt, as long as you can just keep your calm. Now, as long as you keep calm, you don't do as many mistakes. If you keep panicking all the time and you just try to win instantly and just go in like pop everything and hope for winning because you're panicking, then you're not gonna get far, because everything that, you know, let's assume that other team is not close to 2k, then they don't really care if they're not on the edge of getting their achievement, so they're a bit more calm and, you know, more sensible and know what they're doing. So as soon as you start panicking, you do mistakes. So for an example, if you watch any of the top streamers or whatever, whenever they play on even like 3000 MMR, they're still very calm, and they just call out what they're doing. And maybe sometimes some people have a higher temper or whatever, but most of the time they're very chill out and they know what they're doing, and they just calmly call out everything. Now, arguing about like who did wrong or who did something good after a game is normal, but always keep that out of the arena. So when you're actually doing arena games, keep calm. If it takes 30 seconds longer to do a setup properly, I would say it's worth it until you reach a higher level. In the higher levels, you have to actually think about, you know, after the game, maybe we should have tried to do it a bit quicker. But to start off, it's just very important to know how to get your setups properly. So I'm gonna compare it with, for example, Rogue Mage Druid. As a Rogue Mage Druid, it's very important to get your setups proper. Now, what an example of a proper setup is, for example, if you play with a sub-rogue and he gets sheep shot. Let's say you face Enhancement Shaman, Warrior and Resto Druid. That's a very common comp as of now in 6.2.2. Let's say you face that. It's very important to get that proper setup to actually land your polys on the Druid, because, for example, let's say that the Druid shapeshift your polys. You defreeze him, and the Warrior and the Shaman can interrupt your Ring of Frost on the Druid. Now, if you do get interrupted on it, he gets out of the defreeze, you're not going to be able to get the polys off on him, because he's just gonna shapeshift them all the time. So it's very important for your rogue to double sheepshot the DPSer so they can't stop your polymorph, and then you cast the ring. If anyone wants to stop that opener or whatever, that setup, they need to trinket. Now, in the case where you want to do a proper setup, you have to do this, and at the start, obviously, that's going to be a bit confusing for you, because there's a lot of things that's happening at the same time, and if you do fuck up on it, then you can talk about it after the game. But what I want to talk about keeping calm is, if your partner isn't ready for it, then don't rush it. Don't be like, no, we have to go now because my deep freeze is off cooldown, or, you know, I have dance now, we need to go now. In the start, just try to calm down and just be like, okay, when are you ready? Let's do it whenever you're ready. Okay, you are ready, let's go and do it. So that's the most important thing. And then in the future, when you've played together a bit, maybe 100 games, and you finally got into it, you can do it like, okay, I have dance now, let's just do it. And then everyone just gets into the, you know, the muscle memory of doing that every single time. So that's one of the most important things in my opinion. Just keep calm, and as long as you keep calm, no matter what ratings you're at, just don't care about that. Just always focus on the game and keep calm, and you will do so much better than you think. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is actually communication. Now, communication I don't necessarily only mean inside of the games. Now, communication is super important while you're actually in the arena. However, communication outside of the arena is actually very important as well. If you look at any other, you know, streamers or whatever that do stream arena, they always play a game, and then even if they win or if they lose, they talk about the game afterwards. Now, why they do this is because even though they're maybe the best players in the world at the moment, there's still things they can improve on. No matter what, there are still things you can improve on. And saying to your partners that you're doing everything perfectly and the only reason to why you're losing is because of them is the most ignorant thing and the most stupid thing you could ever say. And if you do that, you're not going to get very far. You're going to be most likely stuck on low rating for the rest of your life if you just do that. Because think about it this way, if you have the knowledge of 100 different people, that knowledge is obviously going to be a lot better and overall good knowledge than just your knowledge. So it's very important to, even if you're a higher ranked player playing with low rated people, if they feel like you're doing something wrong, then think about that and evaluate it in your head and think like, maybe that is actually a good idea, or maybe it's not a good idea. So actually even like communicating in the game and keeping calm, and then actually communicating outside of the game and taking in all the tips you can get and have a positive mindset about all the criticism you get is one of the most important things as well. Now, as a last note, I want to say something that probably you've heard 1,000 times. And that is, just keep playing. Don't be scared of losing ratings. Don't care about your ratings, because if you get better at the game, the ratings are just naturally going to come. And it's going to be very easy for you to get, maybe for example, let's say you're 1500 rated right now. You want to push for 1750. Now, if you play, for example, your first season, and then you're stuck at 1700 and you can never really reach that 1750. Now, if you just stop playing and you don't play that much because you're scared of losing, you know, that close range to 1750, you're going to stay at that range forever, pretty much. But if you just play and drop down to 1600, go back to 1700, drop down to 1500, go up to 1700, you're going to learn so much in the way, so, you know, the road to 1700 back again, that it's going to be easier for you to actually reach that 1750 goal. And in the future, maybe you can reach 2k in the future when you've learned a lot of stuff along the road. And when you do get 2k for the first time, 1750 is going to look easy for you, because you've done maybe 500 or 1000 games in between that taught you so many stuff, and you've maybe played with a lot of different people who gave you a lot of good information. Now after that, maybe you reach 2.2k, and then 2k won't be, you know, noticeable as anything for you. So that's pretty much what you want to do. You just want to play and play and play and take all the advice you can get, and also of course discover new things for yourself. And that's why I think it's kind of funny when people say that, oh, you know, I played PP one season, it was so easy, I got rank 1 instantly. The only way I can see that happening is if you get boosted, or if you just played with some amazing people and you're just like, you know, you just have a natural gift for World of Warcraft, I guess. But you just have to play with a lot of people, and then when you've got information from a lot of people and you learned a lot of stuff and also played your class for a very long time, and you've got to, you know all your keybinds, you know all of it by muscle memory, so you can focus more on the game than the actual keyboard, then I think that's where you have the best shot at actually getting high ratings. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys actually thought this was informative, and it was just a quick video I decided to record about my thoughts on playing Arena. And I really do enjoy playing, and I really do enjoy even playing with low rated people, because it gives me a chance to, you know, give them some information that I do have, and I can just, you know, relate to when I was in their situation, and I just love helping them out. So anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. Bye.